Liverpool Football Club exists because of an eviction notice. In 1892, the biggest club in the city wasn't red. It was Everton playing at a ground called Anfield, owned by a brewer named John Holding. He'd leased them the land, sold them beer through his pubs, and slowly turned himself into the most powerful man at the club. Then Everton tried to leave, and Holding decided to start his own club instead. Not out of love for football, out of spite. The story starts in 1884, when Everton needed a proper home. They'd been playing in Priory Road and Stanley Park, but crowds were growing and they needed a ground they could fence in and charge for. John Holding owned a patch of land on Anfield Road. He was a Liberal councillor, a Freemason, and the owner of the Sandon Hotel, where Everton held their meetings. He offered them the land for £100 a year. Everton built stands, installed turnstiles, and became one of the founding members of the Football League in 1888. Holding became club president. Then the arrangement started to sour. Holding raised the rent from £100 to £250. He insisted Everton buy the land outright for £8,000, far more than it was worth. He held a monopoly on beer sales through his own pubs. And when Everton's committee pushed back, Holding proposed buying the club entirely. The committee refused. In early 1892, they voted to leave Anfield and find a new ground. They moved across Stanley Park to a patch of farmland and built what became Goodison Park. Holding was left with an empty stadium, no team, and no income. So in March 1892, he called a meeting at the Sandon Hotel and announced he was forming a new club. He wanted to call it Everton Football Club and Athletic Grounds Limited. The Football Association blocked it, ruling that Everton had taken their name with them. So Holding settled for Liverpool Football Club. Not because he loved the city, because he had no other option. The club was effectively a real estate project disguised as a football team. Holding recruited John McKenna, a fellow brewer and the chairman of the West Lancashire League, to help him build a squad. They couldn't join the Football League immediately. Everton still held the city's spot. So Liverpool joined the Lancashire League, a lower division filled with reserve teams and factory sides. They won it in their first season, unbeaten, scoring 86 goals. The Football League expanded in 1893, and Liverpool were elected into the second division. They won that too, earning promotion to the first division for the 1894-95 season. By 1896, Liverpool were finishing above Everton in the table. The Revenge Club had become the bigger club. What made Liverpool rise so quickly wasn't tactical genius or local loyalty. It was money. Holding and McKenna recruited aggressively, offering higher wages than most clubs could afford. They brought in Scottish players from bigger clubs, luring them south with pay packets that undercut the amateur ethos still lingering in English football. It worked, but it also made them deeply unpopular. Local newspapers called them mercenaries. Rival clubs accused them of professionalism run amok. Everton supporters dismissed them as Holding's vanity project. But the club kept winning. The first league title came in 1901, less than a decade after the club was founded. They won it again in 1906. By then, Anfield had been expanded twice, and Liverpool were drawing bigger crowds than Everton. Holding died in 1902, just months after the first title. He never saw Liverpool become the institution they are now, but he lived long enough to watch them eclipse the club that threw him out. The strange part is that none of this was ideological. Holding didn't start Liverpool because he believed in the city or the sport. He started it because he owned a ground and needed someone to play on it. The rivalry with Everton wasn't manufactured by fans. It was baked into the founding, written into the lease dispute, hardened by the fact that Liverpool's first great success was built on players Everton couldn't afford. What started as a landlord's backup plan became one of the most successful clubs in English football history. All because Everton tried to leave Anfield, and Holding refused to let the ground sit empty. Next time, we head to Spain.